Hello and welcome to the RPG Academy podcast, Twitch stream, and YouTube channel. I am Michael, and I'm back today with some more Final Fantasy, the original Nintendo version. As always, happy to chat about whatever you want to talk about. I'm hoping the internet will work today. I did a speed test just before I jumped on, and it's borderline. It's better than it normally is when it doesn't work at all, but it's not as good as it is when it seems to work good. So we're kind of in some middle ground here. But anyways, let's jump into the game and see what we can get done today. So when last I left, I had finished the little three-way fetch quest, got the Mystic Key, got the TNT, was able to open up the world and got to the next town over. And here we have the Earth Cave. And this is the first of our four elemental main bad guys that we need to take out. This dungeon is not overly complex, but as I've been doing before, I'm going to pretty much just try to get through it, and then later I'll come back and circle around and actually go after the treasures and stuff. But you basically go like halfway through it, and then you have to come back out, go get something else, and then finish it up. So hopefully I'll be able to get through that first part. I need to I didn't do this. I need to check and see how I'm doing on items. So hopefully, because I'm going to need a lot of pure potions because I'm probably going to get poisoned quite a lot in this place. Check and see how I'm doing on items. So hopefully, because I'm going to need a lot of pure potions because I'm probably going to get poisoned quite a lot in this place. Check and see how I'm doing on items. So hopefully, because I'm going to need a lot of pure potions because I'm probably going to get poisoned quite a lot in this place. Check and see how I'm doing on items. So far, so good. Stream seems to be holding. Seem to not be getting poisoned, which that's good. So far, so good. Stream seems to be holding. Seem to not be getting poisoned, which that's good. There we go. Great. So far, so good. Stream seems to be holding. All righty. So now, that's good. There we go. Great. So far, so good. So we're on level 2. All righty. And this one's now. I'm just going to try to run from this. So we're on level 2. All righty. And this one's now. Hey, Targus. Yeah, so far so good. Again, right when I started, I mentioned that I did a speed test before I started this, and it wasn't as good as I like it to be. Sometimes I get upwards of like 6 and 7 upload. And when it seems to work okay, and when it doesn't work at all, it's like less than 2. Today it's around 4, so it's kind of like right in the middle, but it seems to be working. Right when I first started, like 2 minutes in, I had a little bit of a hiccup, and I saw my little green light turn to yellow and then red for just a second, but since then it's been fine. So fingers crossed it will stay green long enough for me to get through a session here. Yellow and then red for just a second, but since then it's been fine. That's all I can ask for, I guess. It will stay green long enough for me to get through a session here. Yellow and then red for just a second. But since really, that's all I can ask for, I guess. That's weird. Don't know what that would be. Through a session here. Yellow and then red for just a second. But since really, that's all I can ask for, I guess. Okay, so what about now? Is that any better? Please let me know. I don't know why it would have done that, but if I knew what I was doing, I wouldn't have half the problems I have, would I? Huh. That's really weird. I don't know. I hope the other ones aren't like that. No one else has said anything before, but maybe they were just polite. So it looks like I had 2 sources of audio on. That was why it was kind of doing the echo. Yep, this is my first trip into the Earth Cave. I'm just trying to get to there's like a halfway point where you have to turn around and come back. So basically I'm just trying to do that part of it, which this is a pretty tough dungeon. My level, I should be okay, but I'm not going to take too much for granted because, again, Loki's already half dead. And I have this weird thing. I don't like for my characters to get different, like to different points of an experience. So if any of them die at all, I probably will just like do a hard reset and start over, which is kind of annoying when you're just trying to get through places and you have to start all the way back over. There we go. So luckily, that second level is kind of a maze, but I kind of remember it. So this is the third level. Again, this is where I can fight, I believe it's a vampire. Again, I'm skipping all the treasures. I don't want anything. I'm not worried about anything else. Just want to get defeat the vampire. I think there's a ruby in the chest, and get that and get the heck out of here. The other aspect, which is sort of counterproductive or counterintuitive to what I've been doing, where I've been trying to level as quickly as I could so that I can get through the rest of the game pretty easy, is now I'm kind of going to try to do the opposite. I don't want to level if I don't have to. Probably shouldn't have used all those. Because I want to try to get my promotion before I level up again, or not level up much, just so I can have more levels on the other side of promotion than this side. Welcome to Foxblade. Happy to have you with me today as well. Fingers crossed, the internet seems to be complying and working out for me so far. Let's see if that holds. Alrighty, so far so good. Again, I don't want to jinx myself, but this has been a pretty smooth run so far. Okay, double check, make sure everybody's fully healthy. He doesn't have any magic. Nope, that's not what I want. Heal, okay. Yep, alright, here we go. Can we beat our vampire? Since it's undead, my harm spells should do some damage. Yep, that was pretty easy. And then yeah. See, this is like the worst spot. These things here are terrible, and I have not been able to run from these things like at all. Just doesn't seem to work. So I kind of have to fight them, and they can do some major damage. All right. Yeah. Okay. Not bad. Not bad. I'll take it. Gonna have to use some spells here, though. I want to make sure I don't have any nasty surprises. So inside this chest, I should get the ruby. Yay! There it is. And now I just have to get back out of here. Not good. So I'm just going to try to run, but I'm also going to hedge my bets here with a couple spells. Might end up wasting some spells, but again, I just don't want to get myself in too much trouble. So yeah, that's like the worst case scenario, somebody dies. But the second worst case scenario is that I use a spell, almost kill all of them, and then run away and basically get nothing out of it. Okay, so two of them, not so bad. Sometimes it feels like these bats and just like NPCs in general are just trying to get in your way. All right, come on, run, 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 run. Hulk is usually my best runner. He's the highest evasion and speed. I'll take a 1 to run. So potential spoiler. So I'll throw this out here. Anyone who's not been keeping up with the Mandalorian casting rumors, but if you have, you probably already know what I'm going to say, so I won't actually say it. But how cool is that? I listened to a lot of Kevin Smith podcasts, and he had said something about this. He had heard a rumor about it. I believe I heard it from him first. It's just an unconfirmed rumor before it was confirmed by Slash Film. But yeah, I super duper excited about that. Okay, so now we're back to level 2. I really don't want to have to, there we go. I don't want to push that bat all the way up. So this is the one that's kind of a maze, but I kind of remember how it goes. At least enough that I'm not going to have to explore too much. I think I need to go up one more. There we go. Run, 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 run away. Come on. There we go. See where I'm at. So, not terribly far from leveling. So ideally, I'll be level 15 or less when I get my promotion and get my characters promoted, kind of like their prestige classes. So there's no way I'm going to be able to not go at least a 14 because I'm just the things I have to fight are going to level me up, but I don't want to hit 16 if I can in any ways help it. Alrighty. It's weird. My my chat isn't working on the on the stream. It's not moving, so I'm not seeing your messages. I have it pulled up in another window so I can see them there, but I can't. The stream's not picking them up. Do not know why I did that. So there we go. That should fix that. Okay. If it's still cutting off part of your messages. There we go. So do you mean? Well, actually, like, what do you mean? Because I thought the other ones were Super Nintendo. Like, I thought Final Fantasy 2 and 3 were both Super Nintendo games. Or do you mean like the iOS version? Okay, so I've made it out. So we're going to use a tent to save progress right now so that if something bad happens, it's not terrible. I want to go back to the inn to refill all my spells and everything again and to save my progress. Then I got to head over. I don't know what the name of the other thing is. It's like a little cave I got to go through. A lot of times, if this again was your first playthrough, you might have explored a little bit more. I'm kind of going directly to the things that I need to go to. But if you had explored around, you probably would have found a cave. It's a little bit further to the west over here. But it is blocked by like a big ogre or a troll who's hungry and won't let you pass. And the ruby is what it wants to eat. So now that I have the ruby, I can go back to that cave and the ogre will let me go by. And then I will be able to get the rod, which will let me smash. Again, I didn't check, but after I fought the vampire, there was another little room back there. If I had checked it out, there's like a big slab of, like a sarcophagus type thing, whatever, and it blocks my path. The rod will let me break that, which reveals a ladder, which will let me down into the next levels of the dungeon. Whew. Yeah, I do agree. The numbering system is a little bit wonky. And I think on the iPad, there's Final Fantasy II, which is the actual Final Fantasy II. But what we knew as Final Fantasy II was actually like 4 or something. It can get a little confusing. So the current plan after this, I believe, is either to play the original Zelda or Metroid. I was going to do like a poll or something and see for sure, but it'll probably be one of those two. Then I might circle back to another Final Fantasy game. That wasn't what I wanted to do. There we go. All right, so yeah, so now he wants the rubies. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Yeah, Zelda is still one of my all-time favorite games. I absolutely love that game. That's the thing that worries about Metroid is like I know Final Fantasy pretty well, and I might make a mistake here and there, go the wrong way, but for the most part, I know how to get through this game pretty directly. I don't remember much about Metroid. That's going to be a comedy of errors, me trying to figure out where stuff is. And again, I don't know if that would be fun for people to watch me struggle through that game, or if it would just be super, super annoying. So let's check. So our damage right now is 39 and our hit percentage is 61. So 39 and 61. Let's equip the Great Axe and see if it's better or worse. It's worse. So we will re-equip the silver and transfer that down here so we can sell later. So because Zelda is very much like Final Fantasy. I have played that game so many times. There was a time in my life where I could beat that game without losing a life in under 3 hours. Just I could run through it. I could not do that now, but I pretty much know where everything is. And again, there might be a couple backtracks, but not much. But Metroid would be a very different experience, which I'm up for because I love that game and I'd be happy to play it again. I recently, within the last couple of years, beat Super Metroid, which I had played several times but never actually beat it. That's another game I wouldn't mind playing. Because again, I also have the Super Nintendo version of the NES Classic, so I have those games as well that I can play on here. Nope. Okay. So Gandalf here will give me the rod. That sounded dirtier than I meant. So I now have the rod, which I believe in the iOS update they call it the crowbar. The iOS version looks really good. Again, I keep harping on that. I know someone mentioned the other day they don't have an iPad. Fair. I'm not trying to put pressure on anybody, make anybody feel left out. But if you do have access to the iOS versions of these games, they're really good. I'm going to run like a son of a gun here because well, again, I'm going to hedge my bets just in case I can't run. So hopefully this takes them all out and I don't basically waste the spell. There we go. Okay. So what would be cool, I don't know how it would work, is if I could find a way to get a Nintendo 64 and play some GoldenEye. Okay. So GoldenEye came out when I was in college. I believe I was a sophomore. And there is no exaggeration. I have more hours on GoldenEye than I do on my degree. Like I should have a bachelor, if not a PhD, on GoldenEye. And I wasn't great at it. Like, amongst my friends, I was average, was certainly not the best, was certainly not the worst. That game, oh my God, I love that game so much. And so this was back in the 90s, well before the technology we have today. Oh no. So one of us, I think, had a 27-inch TV, which was the biggest TV on our floor. So we we went to Walmart and we bought some cardboard and we made like a grid and we affixed it to the TV. And again, the TV was curved because it was before flat screens. So we did all this complex engineering. So basically, we cut the screen into quarters, and then we would make people play where they could only see their quarter, because some of us, not me, of course, some of us would cheat and look at other people's screens, and that way we would know where they were at in case they were camping or hidden. It was glorious. So, man, I love that game. Well, so the way it works is, the way I understand it, my very poor Googling, is you're not allowed to play on Twitch a game that you don't actually own. So you can't use an emulator to play a game unless you own that game. Again, my understanding is because I bought the little NES, console that came out. It's from Nintendo, that qualifies. So basically, I own the game. I don't own GoldenEye currently, so I could not play it on emulator. I would have to get I could always just go buy a copy of the game from like a pawn shop and then hook up an emulator, but I have to have the physical game that I own for legal purposes. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to kick down my door, but Twitch may not let me stream them. They may take those streams down or possibly even block me. But what I would like is to find a way to play with other people, and I believe you can do online play with GoldenEye. This was well before I would ever have done that. We were all local. I don't know. I might look into that. But man, I could definitely kill a few hours playing GoldenEye again. But no one gets to play Odd Job because that was cheating. Because he was short. It was hard to hit him. Our favorite way to play GoldenEye was one shot, one kill. So basically, if you got shot once, you were dead. So I think it's got the golden gun. Though I also loved proximity mines. That was probably my favorite. So just run around throwing proximity mines like crazy and then just waiting for your kill count to go up until you forgot where you threw them, and then you die and you get credit for your own kill. Okay, so we're back here. So we have all of our health, we have all of our spells. So now we're going to try to get through the entire dungeon. Not a great start. And actually defeat the first of the 4 elemental bad guys. This is the Earth Fiend. Because when that happens, the world gets a lot bigger. I know we opened up the world when we blew that little piece of land and got the boat out. But after we defeat the Earth Fiend, we're going to have access to the canoe, which will let us go to different places. And basically at that point, my goal is to get promoted. So we're going to jump away from the main quest and just try to get ourselves promoted as quickly as we can. But first, we got to survive this dungeon. These gargoyles are not worth the trouble, so I'm going to run away. Hopefully. Come on. There we go. Oh, See, I should have used some spells and got myself some hit points. I was getting a little cocky. There we go. All right, let's heal up a little bit here before we get too crazy. Trying to save my spells, even the Wanda spells, for later. So I'm going to try to use my healing potions now. I'll leave that one. Yeah, it probably wouldn't be too hard to find. But the other thing is I would also need a controller, which I think you can buy those aftermarket as well. But it honestly might be cheaper to just try to find an old Nintendo 64 somewhere with the game. But I don't know. But they actually, well, let me back up. They came out with a version of it for Xbox a while ago. It's kind of like the iOS port. It's upgraded, a little bit different, but there's a lot of similarities to it. So it might look into just doing that. But I don't know. I'm definitely going to look into that because I would just like to play GoldenEye. That in itself would be a good time. But let's see. So definitely Metroid's on the table. Definitely first Zelda's on the table. I'll have to look and see because there's like 30 games that came on that Nintendo, and I'll have to see which ones. Like, so again, quote unquote, I can legally stream. I don't think so. Time Splitters, I'm not sure. I may have. If it was something that was popular when Nintendo was first out, there's a good chance I did, but I don't remember it. Okay. Nope. Oh wait. Yes. Okay. I do know what you're talking about now. It basically was like GoldenEye, but it allowed you to have AI opponents, right? So you could actually play the game like either as team mode against the game, or you could play solo, but with opponents, but not play the actual story mode of the game. I remember playing it, but I don't think I played it a lot. All right, this could be really bad. Fingers crossed, everybody. That's not a good start. That's not good. Oh, here we go. Hopefully, Wanda will take out most, if not all, of these. One of the best benefits of the iOS version is that you have more than 4 letters. So when you're naming your characters, you have a lot more flexibility on what you name them. Because it's kind of a challenge to come up with good names, I think, when you only have 4 characters for each of them. And the other thing that they did, which again makes the game so much easier, is I mentioned before the spells. They do a spell point system, which is just so much more powerful. So here's this slab I couldn't get through. We now use the rod, and it shatters, revealing the stairway. Right, that's what you mentioned, that you can, if you attack something in this version, because you have to assign your attacks to each individual creature, if it dies from another way, or if it even runs away, which happens later in the game, things will start running away from you. If you get too powerful, then your attack just doesn't do anything. Okay, so that's bad. We might have to do a hard reboot here. I don't know if I have any stone spells or soft potions. I do not, so sorry about that. So, lesson learned, we need to go buy some soft potions, because otherwise, when we get turned to stone, we can't do anything about it. But yeah, that was not good. But yeah, being able to just, it also makes it faster, because when you go to attack things, you don't have to assign. You can just like attack, hit the button, and just attack the first creature. It's not as strategic, because there is some element of strategery to which ones you attack with who and when and where, but it makes it easier. So I believe, and I used to know this for sure, but I don't remember, but I think the way that the bad guys attack, there is a pattern to it. And so sometimes you can, strategically plan out which ones you attack when, hoping you'll get to attack before they go. So like ideally, if there's like, 7 or 8 creatures, if you attack the ones further on the right, because I believe they attack left to right, then you're more likely to kill someone before they go. If you attack on the left, they may have gone before you attack, and then, oh, that's right, this town doesn't have a potion shop. Oh, that's probably why I don't have any soft spells or potions. Yep. All right, so we're going to make a big out of the way trip. Sorry, folks. This was a miscalculation on my part. Luckily, the towns aren't too far apart. So Big Al here on Discord said he was going to run a game of the Aliens RPG. Super excited about that. Hoping I can maybe get into that game if that happens. I recorded episode 9 of our secret, unless you're on the Discord, podcast thing that we're working on. And I've got episode 10, 11, 12, and 13 all scheduled out, just waiting for crap. They don't have any soft potions here. Waiting for, schedules to line up exactly, or just, because I kind of have to do them in order. So hopefully the current plan is once I get to episode 13, when 13's done, then I'm going to start basically releasing them and promoting them and getting them out in the world, which also should help get more people to be guest co-hosts, because it's kind of hard trying to keep everything a secret. It limits my audience. But once I open it up, I'll just say, hey, if anybody else, if you want to be a co-host, let me know. And hopefully more people will volunteer, and I'll be able to get a co-host easier. So pretty excited about that. Obviously, we're all doing the self-quarantining thing, which we kind of were anyway, but now, the kids are home from school. But I'm getting the itch. I want to run some stuff. I'm wanting to run things, so I'll have to get some games organized soon. All right, you heard it here first, folks. Well, unless you're on Discord, Big Al is going to run Alien. Is it Alien or Aliens, the RPG? But it will be ran, and if you want to be a player, maybe get on Discord and start talking to people. So, I'm a big fan of the Alien franchise, but I'm not like the biggest fan in the world. But I definitely would like that type of game. Especially if it's one where you kind of know you're probably going to die. It kind of takes a little bit of the pressure off. It's just like, all right, how can we make this as interesting as possible? Fair enough. I got you. I'm with you. Pardon me. Well, all of my online games, or all my local games, became online games anyway when I moved, and now I don't live near anybody. So I've been doing that for a while, but it's definitely limited. I don't play nearly as much now as I was before. I have the Smallville RPG for no reason, that I own now. I got it copy off eBay, and I'm going to be digging into that soon. But there's just a lot of things on my reading list. We're doing a review of the Symbaroum RPG book this week, and so all my free time has been reading that book. So once that's done, I probably will switch to the Smallville book and start working on learning that system. We're going to do a Wildemount, I think it's Wildemount, review as well, but I don't own that book. Excuse me. And money is getting very tight for us here. So I'm not going to buy a copy for the foreseeable future. So Tom's looking for some other people that can help with that review. I'm sure I'll get it eventually, but right now, just got to kind of hold on to things as they are. I'm sure a lot of people are that way, so my sympathies, of course. So we did a trial of Symbaroum when it first came out. This was probably 4 years ago, and it was a lot of fun. But one thing about it is Scott ran the game for us. And I have full faith in Scott, but he wasn't like an expert. Like normally we try to get someone who wrote the game to run those trials for us. But that wasn't able to happen with the time crunch because they're all, I think, in like Sweden or somewhere. Like they're, way time crunch was a big issue. So they sent us a copy of the book. And I believe either Scott also got a copy or maybe he got a PDF. So he wrote a short adventure and ran the game for us. But I don't know how much justice we really did to the world that we would have gotten if someone, more involved ran it. So while I really liked that Symbaroum game, I had a lot of fun playing it. And I think Scott again did a great job. I'm excited to be able to do a full review and, maybe dig into it a little bit more in the depth of that world has. One of our guest co-hosts for this episode is on a podcast that has played Symbaroum on their cast. So he's their expert on that show. So hopefully he will make up for my ignorance of everything. I've read quite a lot of the book, but it's it's an RPG book. It's hard to read it cover to cover. It's not like a novel. So I'm sure there's things I missed or misunderstood, but excited about that. And then our Fate of Cthulhu game starts tomorrow. It's a lot of fun. I think it was more fun for us. I always say this. I don't know how enjoyable it will be for an audience to listen to it, but for us playing it, we had a whole lot of fun. To the point that I didn't cut out as much of this as I normally would have. So not that it's like terrible, but there's more stuff left in of like us joking around a little bit than I normally would have left in that kind of story. So hopefully our enjoyment will come across and help the audience enjoy it as well. It also was kind of a long game. Like we got to the point where, normally 3 hours or less. This was a 4 hour plus game. And we also had 4 players, which I normally don't do anymore. So it was kind of a beast to edit. Had a good time. Glad I did it. But yeah, I kept thinking, yeah, this is why we don't do this anymore. It was a bit rough. Whew. Yeah, that Shadow of the Demon Lord game, I really enjoyed that quite a lot. I still remember Thorn. He was my halfling rogue who was a bit of a prick, which is why I called him Thorn. And I use that joke every now. Like every time I play a halfling now, I call him Thorn and say it's just because he's a little prick. Because if I'm nothing if someone that will just lean right into a joke. This could be bad. This could be real bad. Now this is good. Yeah, I think show and tell wise, that show and tell we did with Rob Schwab, who wrote Shadow Demon Lord, was a big get for us. And to be honest, that's why he comes to a Catacon, is the relationship I made with him after that episode. He's a super cool dude. I mean, I really do think the world of him. And I like to think that he was happy and impressed with, our show and what we did and how we supported what he was trying to do. So that was a big time for us. Yeah, he okay. Okay. I need to go to the top left. I don't exactly know how to get there. I don't know here we go again. I don't know for sure if he's coming this year or not. Well, again, at this point, we don't even know if we're having it this year. But I know Rich is out. Rich Baker isn't able to come this year. He's already canceled. But again, everything could change because with everything else canceling, if we are able to have a Catacon this year, it's certainly, son of a gun, I was wrong. It's certainly possible that some other conflicting events are still going to be canceled or get changed or whatever. So we may have to reevaluate who is or who isn't coming. But right now, Rich Baker wasn't coming. But I think Rob was still a yes or a maybe. Yeah, he's a lot of fun to play with if you like a certain type of game. The games he runs are not for everyone. He is absolutely brutal in you will kill your characters, and he'll kill them early. Your character could die 5 minutes into the game and you're just done. There's no let's pull punches so everybody gets to play at least halfway. Nope. If you do something dumb or if the dice are against you, he will just flat out kill you and move on. TPKs halfway through the session, fine. Yep. All right, we're done early. And if you like those types of games, then he runs as good as you will play. But if you are not into those types of games, it could be very, very much hit or miss. I really don't want to use that other fire. I got fire 3. Okay. So you did survive to the end, but then you went straight to hell. So, I mean, that's a little good, little bad. All right, we're getting close. So if I manage to actually get all the way through I'll go ahead and call it at the end of this level when I beat hopefully fingers crossed, beat the Earth Fiend here. Oh, come on. Let's just run away. Ooh. My kids we're doing homeschooling, so I gave them some stuff. They're like, you just work on this and be quiet for 45 minutes. And I'm getting close to that. All right, so I think this is the final level. So I just got to get to... Oh, come on. I don't want to have to hard reset now. There we go. All right, let's use some spells. Hopefully that'll get me there. Yeah, it's weird how this has affected different people in different ways. It would seem like I would have more time, but because the kids are home, I actually have less to do this type of stuff. Because not only do I have to worry about my internet cooperating, but I also have to do it around when they have their time. All right, here we go. Let's use all these heal potions. Ours aren't closed to the whole year. We got 4 weeks off, 3 weeks off, and then they had a spring break. So basically that makes our 4th week. This is our 2nd week. All right, here we go. Come on. Fight. Harm 3 and fire 3. So the good news, that was a big attack, is if I manage to win this fight, there we go, we got it. Well, maybe. Really thought that was going to do it. Once you win the fight, you just got to step on this platform and it teleports you outside, so I don't actually have to go backwards through the dungeon again. There we go. Whew. All right, that was pretty easy. Now, I have, in fact, got attacked between here and the pedestal, so it's still not okay, here we go. Boom. And now we're outside. Definitely going to save right fast. Tent. Bum, bum, bum. And then we see we have one of our shining orbs is lit. All right, so that's where I'm going to call it here. But before I go, real quickly, let me do that one more time just to make sure. So these are the games that I can play on stream. So we got Castlevania 1 and 2, Donkey Kong Jr., Double Dragon, Excitebike, Final Fantasy, Legend of Zelda, Mega Man 2, Metroid, Punch-Out, all 3 Super Mario Brothers, and Zelda 2. So those are the ones that I could play on the stream legally without having to, go out and buy a copy of a cartridge or something. So one of those will probably be the games that I play next. Fun fact, I've never beat any of the Castlevania games. None of them. Because they were freaking hard, and I thought they were okay, but I didn't think they were that great. So if I were to choose that one, that would also be an experience for everyone. All right, there we go. So next time, which again could be tomorrow, we're going to start our quest to get promoted. I'll be able to go to, there's a Crescent Lake town. I get the canoe. Once I have the canoe, I can go and start some really hard dungeons, but we might get lucky, get through them early, get promoted, and then it's kind of all downhill to the game. So anyways, thank you all for joining. I really did enjoy this chat. It's so much more fun when people are talking. So Targus, Big Al, and then Foxblade, thank you for joining. Anyone else, if you were here and didn't chat, that's fine. Thanks for hanging out with us. And hopefully we'll see you soon, maybe even tomorrow. Bye.